Coming up, you've never felt true pain in your life unless you've had these bad boys hit your shins. This week, it's Razor Scooters, and this is Most Xtreme Podcast.
Welcome to the...
We are starting out so perfectly. Keep going. Woo!
Welcome to Most Xtreme Podcast, the show where we discuss and analyze the enigma that is 2000s pop culture.
Yes!
Did I get it?
You got it
Let's
right.
go, baby.
Oh, completely
From
blind.
memory.
Oh, I love it.
I am Jarrett Whitworth.
I'm Brett Ellison.
And I'm Jonathan Snowdy.
Love it.
Today we are going to talk about Razor Scooters.
Razor Scooters, the toy in every suburban kid's garage. It's what we all love to see, love to hear. I'm a huge fan of this, so I'm really excited to do this. Kind of going off of what we just did our Heelys episode not too long ago, and now we're doing Razor. I think we mentioned in that episode that we should do Razor Scooters.
I feel like there was a comment.
So it's now we're doing it, which is really exciting. So, one quick thing I just want to mention to all the people who are listening. We haven't been doing it as much, but we're going to be doing it a little bit more. So we'll mention a lot of videos, and we'll be showing like pictures and things that we mention on air. And so if you want to be looking at those, we'll be posting it on our Twitter and our Instagram. Both have the handle Most Xtreme Pod. There's no E in the extreme for that as well. Excuse me. Leave it in. Sorry. We're all good.
that bubbly water.
It's I'm having a seltzer. Anyway, so yeah, even today we'll have some videos and stuff that we'll be mentioning. So just go on to our social media and you can follow us there where you can get all the links to what we're talking about. So anyway, on with the show. Of course, this is our Razor episode. All about scooters. The metal scooters that we all love. Any background with Razor scooters, Jonathan?
Yes. We had a handful of scooters from various brands. I think we had a couple that were actually the Razor brand. Yeah, and we would ride them all the time when we were younger. I think as we got older, we were more fond of like bicycles because you could go more places with them. I think you could go farther. But yeah, no, we had scooters all the time growing up.
Okay.
What about you, Jarrett?
I know I had both my brother and sister each had a Razor scooter. I had I don't know if it was knockoff. It was just a different brand thing. I think it actually had like two front wheels or something. I forget for the life of me. I remember it was blue, but I forget the name of it.
You remember it was blue?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I just remember it was blue.
Yeah, I mean, it was really sad all the time.
Oh, Jared.
No, but the thing we used to do, I mean, we had a really long driveway, and so we would ride scooters up and down the driveway constantly, and just, I would, like, race against myself, timing myself down, strengthening the calves and thighs and whatnot. We would also ruin the wheels of them, because you could start going really fast and slam on the brakes.
Right.
And skid, you would leave skid marks along the driveway, and our dad would be upset, but
Yeah.
You leave skid marks and then gradually would wear the wheel down to look like just a Flintstones rectangle.
Yeah, we had a couple of those tires.
And so now you ride them and
For sure.
just ruined them beyond all recognition.
I thought your
Lot of fun.
I thought your driveway wasn't paved for some reason, but it is.
I don't know how.
I don't know. I guess because they have a big yard.
I don't know how you could have dreamed of having any knowledge of my
of your
driveway growing up.
Of your house, yeah.
It wasn't. Fun fact for all the listeners out there: it was not paved for a little bit.
That's
We got
probably what it
paved
was.
when I was in maybe early middle school or something. No, at some point it was just rocks. It was just long.
Okay, because I think I remember you telling me that. Yeah.
I don't know what we would have, what conversation we would have run out of before.
Okay.
For me to tell you the history of my driveway.
You called me in the middle of the night. You don't remember that? Last summer.
Brett, I have to tell you something.
I gotta tell you about my driveway.
Woke up in a cold sweat in my childhood driveway.
We're starting with a good start. We're starting with Jared's childhood driveway. Good.
Yeah, so that's my Razor scooter story.
Yeah, I definitely. I remember when I was probably like 6 or 7 for my birthday, I got a scooter. It wasn't Razor. It was electric.
Woogie,
and it
woogie,
had,
woogie.
And it, you're gonna hear a lot of that. It had like pretty thick tires, like tires, and so
like actual rubber.
yeah, out of rubber, and it was big. And I remember getting it and being the cool kid in the neighborhood for maybe about a week. And then nobody cared after that. So, but it was really cool. It was big. It had a kickstand, which was nice. But besides that, it wasn't that big and cool. Then I got Razor scooters. My brother and I got Razor scooters. And we used that constantly, especially when we were a lot younger. That was like sort of the mode of transportation in like our neighborhood. Because I had a lot of friends in the neighborhood, so we would just go around and use it. And then I remember when I was maybe like 8 or 9, I would spend a lot of my like free time just scootering around the neighborhood and learning all the bunny hops and wheelies, all the tricks I could do on the scooter, which we'll get into, I'm sure, coming up. But yeah, I love them. They were probably my favorite toy for like 3 years of my life for sure.
They were super fun.
Yeah. But Razor is essentially, I guess, what you call the prime example of the scooter for kids. The basic scooter design, hang on, I got my notes right, is consists of an airplane grade aluminum frame with 98 millimeter polyurethane. I can't.
Polyurethane?
Yeah, polyurethane. Thank you. I guess that's what the wheels are made out of.
Yeah, probably.
And then a hinge fender over the rear wheel. All right, I'm gonna just
Red leather, yellow leather.
I'm just gonna do some tongue twisters real quick. Excuse me. Anyway, the handlebar and the head tube fold, which is part of the latch, which makes it the most unique part of the Razor design, is that you can sort of take the base and then the handlebar part together and then clip it together.
Right.
Collapses
there
very
had
well.
been scooter-like, like kick scooter-like things for many years.
Right, yeah,
But
this is
Razor
not-
was the first one to make them folding.
Right. And I'm pretty sure there's been folding scooters before, but just not as in terms of like a one piece together metal or aluminum piece. Which I guess now I can get into sort of the history of that because I do have a little bit of the history of Razor, which has been weird because the licensing and the manufacturing of Razor sort of changes everything in terms of like who made things and how it kind of started. But I have an article from Bloomberg News from Sarah Holder, and it's called "The Man Behind the Scooter Revolution." And this will kind of get into our discussion about scooters and sort of how that's changed a little bit now in the year of 2020, which has been interesting.
Well, what's been happening?
You don't know? Did you remember hearing at the beginning of all this craziness?
Jared Leto?
Jared Leto has this like weird cult thing that he has. It's like a 30 Seconds to Mars cult thing.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, very, very Jared Leto, right? And it must have been like April or something, and he came out of his like retreat leisure time with his thing and was like, what happened?
Yeah, he had been like completely cut off from like the internet and news and media for like
Months.
a month.
Yeah.
Like, and he came out and he was like, "All right, guys, what's going on?" And it was like April,
like Los
Who's
Angeles,
ready to party?
Los Angeles completely deserted. It's like the beginning of 28 Days Later, where he's like walking around London and it's completely abandoned. Yeah, except it's the Joker himself, the best Joker. If I have to.
I never actually saw the movie.
we no longer live in a society.
No, that's all jokes. All right, so history of Razor scooter. So 1990, in Zurich, Switzerland. Shout out to all our Swiss listeners. Wait, what?
That's man. If you are listening to us from Switzerland,
A hashtag.
you can get a free whatever you want.
We'll buy it.
We'll get it for you.
It's a hashtag Swiss Scooter Gang.
We'll get you a pair of Heelys.
Yeah. So there's a man named Wim Oberder. I'm saying that completely wrong, but he's a Dutch-Swiss banker, and he was an amateur craftsman. And constantly, when he was living in Zurich, he had this. He wanted to constantly go back and forth between his house and the bar, or to get like a broad or a beer with his friends, and it seemed just too far of him to walk, but it seemed too much of a hassle to get a bike, and so he didn't. And it was too close to drive, so he was trying to figure out like what's sort of the way that I would be able to, get around town Zurich, just around like a metropolitan area without having to. Walking might be too much, but driving and bike might just be too much of a hassle. So what do I do, basically? And so he wanted to find some type of transportation that could swiftly do a micro-distance urban downtown type of area. And so what he wanted to find was a kick scooter, which gave him the idea to come up with this idea of a kick scooter. Excuse me. Goodness gracious. What is going on? I cannot speak today. I'm sorry, everybody. So he came up with the idea to do a kick scooter. In the interview, he says, the problem is if you're a big guy like me and you're riding such a small scooter, people are going to look at you weird. So you want to make it collapsible so you could bring it into the bar afterwards or put it somewhere where you need it. Which at the time, as we said, Jonathan, which was that no machine had existed. So as far as he could tell, he decided to make himself. So in 1996, he launched a company called Micro Mobility Systems, which is just called Micro. And he created these scooters that were, the zippy kick scooters that he just called Micros at the time. And then he partnered with a Chinese manufacturing company called JD Corp to produce them. And in 1999 was the beginning of when they had sales. Here is a picture of our man with the original scooter right there.
Yeah.
So that's the OG
sick.
model. It collapses in three different ways.
Collapses twice there.
Yeah, instead of one,
Yeah.
which we have. So it's a
Still
lot
pretty cool.
easier to control. You can see that the base of where the scooter, where you might put your foot, is definitely not as wide. But yeah, still a really cool prototype that he was using around. So a little bit of a murky history of what happens after they start selling in Japan with this JD Corp. Odeber said that the Chinese company JD Corp ended up selling a licensed versions of his version of the scooter with the design known as Razor. And so they essentially manufactured and sold in the United States a version of his creation and called it Razor. So Razor USA was founded in the year 2000. A slew of copycat brands, which I'm pretty sure all of us have seen, started to come around this time.
Blazer scooters.
Yeah, Blazers. It's sort of like when we're talking about our silly bands, all the like super close knockoffs.
Right.
Grazers.
For
cows everywhere.
But yeah, he said you don't know like the amount of people who would not know that this is actually some Swiss guy who came up with the Razor at the beginning. So yeah, in the year of 2000, Razor was selected as the spring summer toy of the year, and by 2001, it had sold 7 million scooters, and they were all whizzing around, the suburban cul-de-sacs of the time. So also interesting, and going back to silly bands, is that in 2001, Razor won the Toy of the Year award, which silly bands won in, was it like 2010, 2011?
Yeah, a little bit later.
Their version of the Oscars.
The Oscars.
So
Toy skirts.
The toy skirts.
yeah. But the funny thing that happened to the scooters that changed from the original concept of sort of just a way of transportation is that Odeber himself said that he never thought it would become a toy. Like, he always thought of it as part of...
that it was like all functional as opposed to just...
Right, yeah, not something for kids, yeah. He said the original idea was never for kids. It was fundamentally meant to change urban transportation. Now, the interesting thing about that is we're sort of now near the end of this kind of fad that's been going around of, like, urban... rentable scooters, So I'm talking like Lime scooters, Bird scooters. It's definitely sort of dying out a little bit, at least around here.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because Razor was sort of the one to first kind of start it, or wanted to start it before it even became a thing.
Did they have rentable scooters?
They now have rentable scooters, but I think the idea of a scooter just to get you around.
Oh, as
town.
transportation.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that's very interesting that Razor is sort of the company that kind of wanted to start it. Here, the same article from Bloomberg says that in a sign that the scooter has completed a full evolutionary cycle, Razor, whose kid-focused products kicked off the craze in 2000, has now launched its own dockless rental service with fleets of e-scooters currently in Long Beach, San Diego, and Los Angeles, and plans to expand into more cities later this year. This article is from 2018. This is from Odeber himself when he's seeing this craze of the scooters everywhere. It's actually proof that I was right the whole time, but nobody was listening to me. God damn it. Why did this take so long? So he's shaking his fist up into the sky.
Why?
This is my idea.
Too far ahead of his time.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. For somebody who has seen multiple Lime scooters or any type of these rental scooters in lakes or on rooftops or some places that they do not belong, I don't know if we really need this.
Oh, the rental?
Yeah.
I will say with these, I've rented some of these scooters once or twice, never to go anywhere. It was just because like, oh snap, they have one. Let's try it out real quick.
Okay, so it was never like, oh, I got to get to the coffee shop.
Yeah, no, we put it back where we found it. We were like, all right, we found it in this ditch. It's going back in there.
When Jonathan was spelunking not too long ago, he found
I will
digging through a
Is that
mine.
the next thing they're gonna find?
I
in
don't
the deepest
understand-
trench in the ocean. Bird scooters.
Another Lime scooter.
the Lime reclamation team. They got like scuba divers like jumping off of an aircraft carrier to go recover this one scooter.
Yeah, the statistics for like Bird electric scooter accidents is insane.
I was
like-
driving home to Raleigh one day, it was like over a year ago at this point, but I was going down. It was like late at night, and it was kind of a windy road, and I was going around the turn, and someone was on one of these scooters going the wrong way up the street, like in the middle of the lane, and I had to kind of swerve a little bit to avoid just this person just drive like
Holy cow.
Yeah, it's
You're,
weird
like,
because
going
it's
up
like they'll be on the road.
Yeah.
And they're not
Yeah.
technically a
It's a
vehicle,
No.
but like yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Get
think
out
you're
of the
supposed to go on
road.
the road with them
no,
because they can't go fast enough.
no, you can go
Although
like
they do
7
go
miles an hour.
They
Stay on
do
the
go
sidewalk.
pretty fast. And I will say, I feel like with an electric motor on a scooter like that, the main problem I think is not the top speed, but how quickly you get going.
Yeah.
And I feel like those scooters particularly have a lot of problems with balance. Yeah, no, literally, that was
Tumbling over back.
Well,
yeah.
here
You
you
like
go.
go full throttle and it like
I have a report.
slides out from under you.
I have a report from Consumer Reports from 2019
Okay.
that states a Consumer Report investigation finds 1,500 e-scooters injuries across the country. Many hospitals still don't track them, and about 100 and so deaths from these scooters alone. We should not be trusted, is what I'm saying.
They hit the motor, it slipped out from under their feet, went around, smacked them in the ankle, instant death.
Wasted.
But yeah, so as a mode of transportation, sadly, the Razor scooter never proved to really get it. It's not the most lightweight type of scooter that you could bring around. It's not easy to carry around if you're going somewhere, and not something that you would see as Odeber himself was seeing as like businessmen, take him to work or to the bar or something. This is not what he was.
Mr. Johnson, ready for the briefing? Hold
If
on, let
you
me
if you got a commuter bicycle, you're like cool. But if you ride like a scooter, it's like wasn't there it's like that joke of like you have to chase the bad guy down, and so you grab the first bicycle you see, and it's always like a pink Barbie bike.
Yeah,
Didn't that happen in The Pacifier?
that
Diesel's-
sounds like a 2000s movie where it's like I gotta get there, and then he takes a tricycle. Yeah.
Out of my way. Yeah.
But he's actually a Navy SEAL. Yeah, and I mean, like you were saying earlier, like the wheels definitely tend to like die down, especially on any type of rough surface. So like a city street, a Razor scooter is not going to last very, very long on there. But it's interesting that you mentioned it because of work, because when I was a kid, I definitely remember watching the behind the scenes for Pixar.
Yes.
And Pixar, I don't think they do this anymore. I really don't know. I should probably ask some people. If you work at Pixar and you're listening to this show, I am on my knees begging you, please. I would love to go for a tour. Anyway,
If you work for Pixar and live in Switzerland, then
then you hit
you're
a double
unicorn
whammy
right now.
Yeah, but in the documentary, they had people using scooters throughout their campus all the time, indoor, outdoor, just to get around. And I mean, as large of a campus as Pixar's studios is in Emeryville, California, where I think it actually was the original Oakland A's like baseball stadium and facility that they had like changed, or it might have been their training facility, but now it's Pixar's campus. Like they have several different studios and different offices for different things. So if you need to get from one building to the other one, a scooter makes sense. But in the documentary, they were definitely using Razor scooters. So I'm not sure if that's still what they're using now. They also had a chimpanzee in some of those behind the scenes. I don't think they have that anymore.
Yeah, what was up with that?
I watched an interview with, I think it was it might have been Pete Docter and Lee Unkrich, who were the directors for Monsters Inc. And they were talking about it because it's for the Monsters Inc. Behind the scenes. And they were saying that so many people like applied to work at Pixar, and they're like, yeah, I always wanted to work with an office that had a chimpanzee. And apparently they just hired it for the behind the scenes so that they would have a chimpanzee in the shot with like them like working, and there'd be like a chimpanzee like with its arms crossed, like also watching what they're doing, and they would never explain it.
Oh, that's so good.
So I think it's one of the best jokes that they've ever done, was that they, like for a whole day they hired a chimpanzee to just come in to be in the behind the scenes and pretend he worked there.
That chimpanzee's not a real art director. He's a paid actor.
Mr. Smith, what is this check for $150,000 going? Mr. Chimp.
You know, they say if you get, was it like a bunch of chimpanzees to
Just wasting money.
the type on typewriters, you get the works of Shakespeare. Well, Pixar realized you only need one chimpanzee to write The Incredibles, and it did.
If you just train them well enough.
Yeah. Just give them Final Cut, and they can make anything. But yeah, so definitely the scooter wasn't...
Forget machine learning. More chimps.
More chimps. But yeah, so Razor scooter, to go back to Hackhouse, definitely at the beginning of sort of the big concept of what if I could create this like transportation foldable kick scooter, definitely kind of changed to what it is now as a toy. And I don't think it really ever took off to what it was supposed to become, mainly just because, like we talked about, the wheels, it's clunky. It's, not the easiest thing to get around. Mm-hmm. I can say from experience that when I was in college, I brought my Razor scooter to college and tried to drive it around. And I did that for 2 days and then left it in my closet for the rest of the time because it was very much a mess of like, all right, gotta like take it out of my car. Now I gotta fold it out. Now I'm going to go across this brick campus to go to class, and then I gotta put it somewhere. So I'd throw it in a bush, and then I'd run back to class. It was like, this is not worth it. So
Yeah.
but yeah,
What is that statue? You would lay it down at the feet of the mountaineer statue.
no,
Done with this.
Yeah, I give this to you. No, I throw it in a lake, just like the Lime scooter. No,
Is it Daniel Boone? It's Daniel Boone, isn't it?
no, it's Joseph.
Oh.
So I went to Appalachian State. I unfortunately went to Appalachian State University, and they have a statue of their mascot.
And there
Joseph.
go all the downloads from Boone.
Yeah, well, it's okay. We'll talk about it another time, Jarrett. Just not on air. But yeah, I do have some. We can watch this. I'll show this to you guys. But I do have one of the first ads that they ever put out for Razor scooters in the 2000s. You can kind of see real quickly. I'll see if I can pause it. Is what the original Razor Wheelie was the name of the scooter, what it looked like. So that's what the base of it looked like, rather than just the word Razor. Kind of cool.
Yeah.
Kind of a fan. So in this ad, we'll show it on our Twitter, but essentially, turns out the first one of the first this is an infomercial, by the way. The first sellers that they had in the United States for razors was the Sharper Image.
Yeah.
Not the first place I would expect to see scooters being sold, but you know, if our president can sell steaks there, then I think anything is possible at Sharper Image. So the same place you can get a massage chair. But yeah, definitely a sign of the times in terms of, you know, as we were saying with our Heelys, where everyone's wearing helmets and safety equipment, you know,
Right.
in the ads. Not something I ever did with a razor scooter. But yeah, definitely really cool.
Yeah,
They're showing off a lot of stunts in this.
They're doing
A
way
lot of
more advanced
jumping.
things than I ever did on.
Yeah, I don't even know I ever popped a wheelie. I definitely did a bunny hop,
Yeah.
but
Wow.
yeah, I was watching some compilations of some scooter tricks, and people were like grinding on rails and like doing. They
Yeah.
were like they would jump off of it in midair, flip the bottom around, and then like land and keep going.
Yeah, in a bit I do have a little bit about how it's moved into the extreme sports category. So here's the next ad is these two samurai ninja people, martial art artists, and they both use a kick scooter to sort of show down each other. Now, we can get into this in a I guess
Are
now.
they meant to be fighting, or are they meant to be like doing stunts?
They're kind of just showing how portable it is more than anything.
Okay.
So the guy in the black suit has a razor and showing how easily it is, and the guy in the red suit does not have a razor, showing how it's the minute you try to pull it out, all of it will come off together.
Okay, so they're talking about they've got better quality.
Yeah. I'll just show this ad. This one's not as interesting, but it's sort of similar to the Sharper Image ad. But essentially,
Not as interesting. There's sparks.
yeah,
They-
so
they
we can
literally-
talk about that too. Let's talk about that first before we get into the one thing I wanted to talk about. So they've recently made something called their Spark scooters, and essentially what it is that adds a sort of a I can't figure it out. I don't know if it's like
It looks like the braking mechanism. They've extended it lower so that when you brake,
Right.
you're dragging a piece of metal along the ground.
right. And so the idea of it is that you can leave sparks where you go.
We
to
did
hit
that for way cheaper back in the day. We
Right.
took like 2 boxes of sparklers and duct taped them to the back of a scooter.
Oh my gosh,
And someone rode it down the street.
that's pretty ratchet. I kind of like it.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it was great.
So yeah, so
Did
the
you
spark.
go faster?
What do you think?
So yeah, the Spark scooters is definitely the extra mechanism that goes in on it, and they're still selling them today. I think I had one video. I don't have it up real quick, but essentially, the one big thing to know about it is that the Spark scooters. Here's this kid. You'll see in a second how this kind of works without the ad. And he's going. Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of sparks.
A lot of
coming out.
Let me
Sparks,
just
so-
install a pothole here.
That's the one thing is that they do leave marks with the spark on.
Yeah.
So as your dad got mad at you on your gravel driveway.
Imagine
For
if
leaving
you had
tire
the skid marks.
like plastic skid marks.
Yeah. So large skid marks that come from, especially the scooter for that one.
Where's all this
Scorch
carbon scoring coming from?
So yeah. I'm sorry guys, I'm all over my notes. The Razor Scooter Company has an estimated annual net worth of $100 million for the entire company combined. So that's an annual net worth. So they're still making money. I mean, they're still around making tons of cool scooters. So in the ad that we were just watching, we have these 2 samurai ninja people doing a showdown with 2 different types of scooters, and they're swinging them around almost like helicopter style. Now, we were talking a little bit about how it's not the most accessible thing to have a scooter around with the razors. I'm sure all of us have had some problems in the back of our minds with razors, is that these things are very dangerous. These, if you are on a very hot day and you are barefoot and you are on a razor scooter, you are in for a lot of foot pain.
Yeah.
Especially
Game over at that point.
yeah.
Yeah.
If that thing is soaking up in the sun, that is going to burn your feet.
Right.
I'm sure all of us have done that.
Not to mention, I don't know how well pushing off the ground barefoot works on a scooter. I've never wanted to try that.
Oh, like
Unless
on
you're-
gravel?
Not unless you're like.
Or I mean on
throwing-
the
on
pavement?
like on like asphalt.
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure I've done that.
Really?
Yeah. It's not fun. The other thing that's
Yeah.
not fun is if you push the brake with your heel, will destroy your foot.
Barefoot?
Yeah.
Because it's hot, or
Because it's hot and it's not meant for
Right.
barefoot. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
meant for a shoe.
Right. Yeah, it just like goes through the bottom of your foot and like touches the bones.
Oh, so you've done it too, yeah.
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay. Hang on, I'm just going to type in
right.
on Google razor
Doing everything.
scooter injury, and then let's see what we can find.
It's you're
So,
stomping on
is
on
it-
a small piece of metal smaller than your foot. So
is
it's
it
jamming.
is it worse than stepping on a Lego brick? Because there's the added like temperature, the fire damage.
We need to power rank foot injuries. Obscure things you can injure your foot with.
Okay, while we're talking about pain, which is
Sure.
where stepping on Lego or accidentally hitting yourself in the shin with a scooter.
That was the next one I was going to say is like, if you're spinning that,
There's the meme.
You ever,
Yeah.
you ever bonked your shin bone with that?
yeah,
Your
that
So much.
that is the worst. I don't know, is the shin or the ankle though?
I think it's anywhere. For me, it was mostly the shin.
Right.
Although, if it hits like the round part of your ankle, that hurt a lot too. Like basically, it's just hitting bone.
It's
where
the
there's-
kind of pain where like you just immediately feel lightheaded and that you're gonna vomit. It's like
Yeah.
it's just like, oh, we've all been there.
Yeah. There's like physically no damage done, but it just hurts.
Yeah, you just feel hollow, like all your bones feel hollow, and you just
It
see
makes
the
it
light.
sound like a wood block. Like,
You see the light
Yeah.
closing in and the abyss before you.
Yeah, you fall down on the sidewalk in pain. Here's a study. This is from the Washington Post from 2014.
With your last breath.
A nationwide children's hospital found that between 1990 and 2011, more than 3.2 million kids were estimated to have been sent to the ER for toy mishaps. Around a decent amount of them, I think it is, what am I saying? It might be like 40% come from scooters or any type of transportation injury. So that counts as bike too, but
Yeah.
a decent amount of those would come from scooters. So you got to be careful with these for sure. Even to this day, if I went through my garage hustling through the caverns that I have not seen my scooter in a long time, it would destroy my feet.
well, I think you have to, just because it has a little handlebar, doesn't mean it's like less dangerous than riding a skateboard.
No,
Right?
right, yeah.
You can still topple off that thing at speed, hit the pavement. And if you're trying to do what they do in the commercials, like do all these flips and jumps and stuff, I mean, then yeah, there's like a million ways to fall off that thing.
For sure. So, I did want to show you guys. So, Razer makes a bunch of different types of scooters, and
Yeah, I've seen a couple on their site.
yeah, so they have a giant product list on their website. So of course we have to talk about the classic one that we probably all had was the A scooter.
Yep.
Which
Yeah.
is the sort of the classic model, comes in different colors, which is weird. So if I click on blue right here, it shows me black.
Oh.
So I'm not really
Are
sure
the
what's
wheels
going on
blue
here.
or?
Are they blue? I can barely see them.
Subliminally
Kind
telling
of,
you
they're
the
more
No.
bruises that you're gonna get.
Anyway,
Bruises
so
on your leg.
yep.
Yeah, we had one like that. I don't think it was Razer though. It was some other brand. It was like Zoomies or something.
Right.
And it was pretty great. It was aluminum. We had some Razer ones, I think, that were just like made of steel, like really thin steel. And I'm pretty sure we broke one by like doing a bunny hop on it and like bending the metal.
But yeah, the A scooter comes for actual retail price of $39.99.
That's not bad.
$39.99. Drew, I want to say $40. I'll add some Prices Right sound effects for all the sounds. Then we have the A2 scooter. I'm not going to go through all of them, okay?
Yeah, we want to.
But the ones
Wanna
like
be
the
outta here
key
for
difference. Yeah. And the 35th scooter. So the big difference here is that it has this little like kickstand part right here at the very back.
Yeah.
Now this is the one that I had. So that's the thing I remember is that I was able to do wheelies and stuff.
I was about to
with
say, is that how you do tricks and stuff? And that looked like kind
Right.
of the same apparatus that had the spark on it.
Right. Well, that's actually a little different because that's actually the Spark scooter. Because the big difference there, hang on, I'll show you,
Oh,
is
it was
that
a
it
whole
has.
different scooter that was for sparking. I thought it was just like an attachment.
Well, it is still a kick scooter, but it has a little extra piece at the bottom, which you can kind of see on the back wheel.
But could you?
That's a spark.
Is that a thing that you could attach and detach from the scooter? Or
Yeah,
it's
you can.
built in?
It's just
Okay.
comes you need it's just a screwdriver. So yeah, we talked about that a little bit. We have, of course, the Party Pop scooter, which I'm a fan of. This thing looks sweet because it comes with all these LED lights and very bright colors. I think it's pretty sweet. Total retail price $50. And then
Is that why we don't have a guest for this episode? Because you would have had to give them a Party Pop scooter.
well, look behind your chair.
$50.
You have a Spark
Wow.
2.0, so that's another one. The Spark one looks really cool. I like the wheels; they're shiny.
Are those LED wheels?
No, those are
They were
just
just
yeah,
the
they're
color
just
of it.
yeah, the coloring. So it's almost like Skechers. Really cool. So, but one thing I did want to mention is that right now, Razor Scooter's been doing some of these limited edition scooters, kick scooters that are really big. And they've been choosing some interesting people to partner with. So right here we have the limited edition A5 Lux kick scooter that's been sponsored by Sharpie. So Sharpie has decided to partner with Razor.
Okay.
So as you can see, it looks sort of like a notebook has been drawn, or Post Malone's face. Either kind of looks like that. We've got the Takis Fuego
Oh my god.
Razor scooter. Of course, the best Takis.
Holy cow.
Yep. Got some yellow spinning wheels. I got the purple thing.
Is the Hot Cheetos one next?
It's very strange the brands they decided to partner with. We have the Sriracha limited edition. Very strange. They're all, and then of course the last one.
This is like when you go into the graphic tee section of Walmart.
Yeah, they all, and then the last one they have right now is the Arizona iced tea. I'm not making this up. This is all real that they're
I
selling.
can't believe I'm actually looking at that.
I know.
That's incredible.
Arizona iced
Wow.
tea Razor, just as Arnold Palmer dreamed it would happen. It's so strange. And of course we have the Pepto-Bismol scooter. I'm just kidding. But this one, expecting the next thing to see is like...
They should have gone even like the extra mile.
Sour Patch Kids.
For the Arizona tea one, have like the stand be hollow and then just a straw coming out, so you can like fill the scooter with Arizona tea.
I was thinking.
So you could fill it with tea.
Yeah, and the Sharpie one just should have Sharpies as the
Oh.
wheels, and you're just leaving marks everywhere.
So you can draw.
I was thinking for the Arizona tea one, it would just have like a little like metal ring, like a cup holder.
A little cup holder.
I like it.
That would be good.
You
So-
do a
Well,
flip and the drink
let's
just
be real,
like.
they should all have cup holders. Yeah, but just the trick is do a flip and then drink the tea midair, like get it to.
So you're
pour
saying
it.
for the Sriracha one, you have a button on it that spills Sriracha out. So you
yeah,
could
like an oil slick.
Yeah.
Like, so it's your getaway scooter.
So all your friends at like an Asian restaurant, what am I gonna do with all this pad thai? I got you.
bring your scooter out.
Do a flip. They all throw their bowls into the air.
Hey, you know, these modifications are what separate it from being a child's toy and being a working man's tool of transportation.
That's right.
The Sriracha scooter.
The Sriracha.
The next evolution of man.
I'm saying these are ideas to Razor. We're saying we're giving you these
these
ideas
are
for
free.
free. Yeah. If you want these ideas.
Razor, if you're listening.
Yeah. Razor, if you're listening.
Still looking for sponsors.
Yeah. Contact Jonathan and then ease his email.
Yeah.
What's your email again?
Just,
Jonathan.snody@gmail.com.
Johnny Snody at hotmail.com.
Oh, you still a Hotmail boy. All right. So I did want to talk a little bit about scootering in extreme sports and sort of how
yes.
that's kind of become a big thing. I think I remember at some point, I didn't watch a ton of X Games or anything like that. I know at least the X Games themselves do not have scootering in it. But other extreme sports, I've definitely seen scootering like at skate parks and things like that.
Yeah, they'll be all over that.
But in 2018, Rolling Stone did an article talking about sort of how it's changed. This is from Dan Gentile. Okay, his last name is Gentile or Gentile. Okay, just make sure I'm saying that right. Sorry. The article is called "From Toy to Trash: How Scooters Are Becoming Millennials' Extreme Sport of Choice." So one thing that Razer did in 2001, sort of their big year, is that they offered a $1,000 prize for the first person to land a backflip, film it, and then they would create their first team of touring riders. So if you were able to do a backflip, this is their second year of production in the United States, they would give you $1,000. So they were immediately like set on, let's make this like the next big thing.
Wow. What's the liability in telling children to attempt a backflip?
I did it, and they're like in a wheelchair.
They didn't make anybody do it. They just said, if you do
it, we'll give you $1,000.
Yeah, but that's still providing incentive, right? Like, in the eyes of the law, isn't that like... Did they have no... I mean, 2000 you said 2001? Mm-hmm. It was a different time.
Oh, yes.
Well, of course, nowadays you would have a scooter commercial, and there's scootering, and then like small print, do not try this at home. It's like, what? This is a toy made for scootering.
Right.
You're going to try this at home. People like ordering McDonald's, don't try this at home.
Pretty much any kids.
Professional actors do not attempt.
Professional actor burgers.
Even though the sport isn't recognized with the X Games and no figure like Tony Hawk has ever been able to propel scootering to the mainstream, this is from the article, by the way. Athletes are innovating at unprecedented pace. I can't speak today. I'm very sorry. The most groundbreaking trick in skateboarding history was Tony Hawk did a 900 degrees spin or flip at the X Games in 1999.
On a scooter?
On a skateboard.
On a skateboard.
There's a scooter rider whose name is Casey Corning, who landed, I believe it was a 900 as well, in 2004, just showing how the sport is evolving. So more and more people are getting into it. More people are becoming professional scooters. This is a quote from a professional scooter. He said, when you first start out skating or skateboarding, you can't just do an ollie right away. You have to practice for 6 months. So all the tricks for skateboarding take so much time. But with the scooter, like, you can do a bunny hop in it and you can learn in like an hour or less. Yeah. Like, it's so much more easy, more accessible to people to be able to learn something like that. Another scooterer said that skateboarding was sort of the anti-establishment, like punk rock sort of sport. But now if you wear skate clothing, like we see this Thrasher shirt everywhere, it's become like the fashion now.
Yeah.
And scooters started out punk rock as well, but the older generation couldn't afford skateboards or BMX bikes. Like, we originally had to like get our scooters out of dumpster diving, like, is what he said. So it's definitely become more of a mainstream thing. A lot of it being built, starting in the 2000s, that a lot of it came through the internet. Like, that's sort of where the community first was built, rather than like skateboarding was, originally on the street. I've got a picture right here of, I believe this, I can't tell what city this is. I want to say Chicago, excuse me. And sort of doing tricks off of
down the stairs.
A railing. Yep. And sort of, becoming the new thing to see all throughout, in terms of the super cool thing. I don't think I would ever be able to pull it off. I think I might have brought a scooter once to a skate park. And I was seeing, nobody looked at it as weird. I'm not doing backflips or anything.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be capable of doing that. But I saw a video where these guys brought an office chair to a skate park, and someone like pushed him down.
That's sick.
And it actually
Did they pull it off?
It balanced really well. I don't know how they worked.
All right, I've got a video for you guys real quick.
Please.
Yes.
This is from Nitro Circus. This is the world's first scooter triple backflip.
Holy cow.
I'm going to mute that, but here we go.
Jeez.
That's sick.
Holy cow. I like that they have him going down like a ski jump.
Yeah. Oh, they're not doing it off of like the Grand Canyon. All right, Billy, see ya.
You won't survive this, but your record will be in the Guinness World Record.
73 backflip.
But yeah. So definitely, it's cool to see that people, kind of start with a razor and then sort of find a way to combine it.
What I'm hearing is it's kind of like a gateway drug.
Maybe.
To more extreme sports.
First taste is free. Just gets you hooked on the extreme.
But yeah, they're an interesting company. I think Razor's doing the best that they can to sort of work with professional skateboarders or scootering.
And I feel like they still have that market for young kids.
Right.
Like, I think I've still seen kids on scooters.
Yeah.
Every time
for
I go
sure.
to like my local Target, there's scooters like lining the shelves.
Right. And that's still something that you can get anywhere now.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they sell them at Sharper Image, but they definitely are selling them, at
Where
like
is there a
Walmart.
sharper image around? Is there even one around here anymore?
Not anymore. There used to be. But
There used to be one at South Point.
yeah, South Point Mall is a place near where we live. I'll leave it at
They're
that.
getting closer.
You're getting closer to figuring out where we are, and that's all you're going to get.
The street address
we can bleep
is.
this out. We've said Durham before, right?
We said Durham, yeah.
Whoa.
We're from the Triangle area. I mean, you just said Raleigh earlier,
Yeah,
so
that's
yeah,
right.
that's not bad.
We're gonna replace it just with like vote-coded, like randomized locations.
SeaWorld.
Brussels.
After living in Coeur
Goshen,
d'Alene,
Indiana.
Walla Walla, Washington. These are real places.
Hell,
Yeah.
Michigan.
Oh wait, Hell, Michigan's a real place.
Yeah, that's a real place.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
There's Bat Cave, North Carolina.
I have a hat from there.
Yeah, it's up in the mountains.
It's the hat's. It's a moose in the Batman symbol.
What?
Oh,
So
nice.
it's like instead of a bat, it is the outline of a moose. I don't know where that hat is. Oh, I gotta find that.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Give us a picture of it. We'll put it on.
Why a
something.
moose though?
I mean,
This is from like the mountains. Or
yeah,
it's
they
sort
have
of
bat caves
mountainy.
there, right?
Do we have
Yeah.
Do we have moose in North Carolina?
Well, it's just sort of like it's more just a
Moosin'.
naturey kind of
Okay.
wilderness outdoorsy.
Okay.
Yeah, it's up near Asheville.
But they don't have.
Hey, if you're listening to us from Asheville, hashtag
Jonathan-
Asheville Angels. I don't know.
Feel free to die on this hill, Jonathan. I'm just telling you that it is the outline of a moose in the Batman symbol. You can't change what the hat looks like. I'm just describing it. Jeez.
We'll bring you a hat and you can have it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Well, that's all of my notes. I don't have any gifts for you guys. Gifts are now only for guests, pretty much. But we'll have scooters or some sort. We'll bring them out.
Yeah.
But yeah, how are we doing on time? Are we doing good?
We're great on time.
Okay, sweet.
I was gonna say. I was talking about before we started recording. My roommates have been replaying. Well, one of them just got the new Pro Skater. That
Tony
just
Hawk
came
Pro
out.
Skater, yeah.
Yep, that just came out.
Is it
And-
a new game or like a remaster of the old game?
I think it's a remaster of the first ones. Is that correct?
I think that's correct.
Okay.
There might be more content in it than just the first one. But they've been playing that. In addition to, I recently got my other roommate's GameCube hooked up, and he's been replaying Pro Skater 3.
Mm-hmm.
And what I really want to see, since we're talking about scooters, and you can do a bunch of stunts on scooters, is like a mod to replace the skateboard with a scooter and like add some different stunts.
Yeah,
That'd be sick.
that would be fun. I don't know. Are there any video games where you can do like pro skating or scootering tricks? I don't know.
I don't think so. Are there games for? There's got to be a game for like BMX bikes, right?
Yeah,
Like
for
some
sure.
BMX, like
Sorry.
that's sort of like open,
imagine.
like Pro Skater is.
Maybe.
You've got an open level and you're doing stuff.
Y'all remember the finger skateboards? And
Yeah.
they made, like,
I was about
finger
to say
scooters.
we
That's-
should do that as an episode.
They do
because
have
there's
finger scooters.
So
Yeah, I
many
remember
things.
Well, I don't know if you're actually meant to like do tricks on them, but they're like miniature
Yeah.
scooters,
Yeah.
the same kind of scale.
But yeah. Oh man, I had a few of those. What
That's
were
a very
they?
2000s
Tech
thing.
decks or something. Is that
Yeah,
is that
we'll have to do it.
I distinctly remember the ads for that was like there's like this bald guy, and he would be like completely like submerged up to his nose in those little like finger scooters, and that would just be the whole
What?
ad. It's just like a
That
picture
sounds like a
of him.
YouTube thumbnail today, where it's like, I bought every Pokemon card, and they're in a tub full of them.
Mr. Beast.
Yeah, Mr. Beast. Hey, Mr. Beast is in the North Carolina area. Let's get him on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. If Mr. Beast is in the audience,
Come on, give us $1 million and
no, it's interesting. So one thing I'm pretty sure anybody who's made it this far in the episode, first of all, yeah, go take a breather. Razer did make another product that we have left out of the conversation, the Ripstick. Now, that is definitely something that we are going to leave for another time because Ripstick is a beast all on its own, to quote Mr. Beast himself. So yeah, we will do a Ripstick episode at some point. Ripstick. Oh goodness, I need to do some vocal warm-ups before this show. So yeah, we will be doing that at another time. But besides that, thank you so much for listening. Please rate us and subscribe to our podcast feed wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us at Most Extreme Pod on Twitter and Instagram. And if you have any questions or concerns and you're from Zurich, Switzerland, email us at mostextremepodcast@gmail.com. Besides that, we will see you next week with another childhood toy that might hurt your feet in a different way. But yeah, that's your tease. Besides that, we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.